Anyone can start.
Okay, computers. Oh, yeah, here's your you're supposed to have them printed.
Oh, can I put my laptop right now?
You were given that opportunity.
Anyone can start.
No, I wasn't.
It's your conversation.
Okay. In chapters 1 and 2, why did the author use figurative language for the entire dialogue? I put to let people think and try to figure out what the author meant instead of just reading it. Like, put some thought into the reading.
I put that the text was deeper and it showed more feeling and emotion.
Yeah.
To make it more interesting and romantically.
It furthers the meaning of what they're trying to say, and it adds like a more personal touch, and it makes it more interesting. Instead of being like a dry piece of text.
The respect for each other.
Express how deeply their feelings were. Ricky?
No? I don't know. I don't know, they were just flirting to me. I don't know. What?
You know what we're talking about.
Teeth are like short and sheep. They're all in a line.
I don't get this.
So, well, things happen. It's just about it.
You know what? There's cold one.
Hey!
Well, we get in the conversation right now.
Who's gonna
Chap
question?
2. Is the Shulamite dreaming, or did she really go out into the street and find her lover? But I think she's just thinking about like how much she wants to be with him. At the same time, she's reconsidering what she really wants.
I think she felt bad. She didn't really want to do anything, and he kind of just like walked away from it. He's like, all right, whatever. Just kind of like walked away, took his own stroll in the park. And
I think she was just fantasizing over him.
Yeah, she was kind of, she didn't want to get out of bed in the first place, so she was just thinking about it instead of actually.
And the guards were cooperative. In real life, they would have beat her like they did the second time.
Yep.
what do you think of that?
It's pretty much just a lovesick puppy.
I feel like this.
What? I agree with what you guys were saying. I
What was
think
that?
she's. Well, no, I think she was just dreaming, and I don't know. What you guys basically said what I was thinking, so pretty much it.
Hey, chapter 4. What is the significance of this figurative language, and why is it almost entirely Solomon who speaks? And I thought I put because of the time period, Solomon is the one speaking because he's a man. Women weren't as highly regarded as they are now, so they were only expected to be seen and not heard, and speaking only when spoken to.
That's pretty good.
I thought it was to show that he actually cared about her instead of her just being number 700.
We're 700. 701. 700 start.
Anybody agree or disagree?
I don't know, I like your statement.
What's your input too?
That was actually pretty
I
good.
agree. Yeah.
I agree.
I agree with you. Yours was the best. How about you, Ricky?
What is this?
Don't worry about it,
Ricky
say
Day?
through it.
I know. I don't know. I agree kind of with what she said a little bit, but also at the time, he may have been just trying to speak kindly and romantically to her to kind of bend what happened earlier, but you never know.
That was actually pretty good. Pretty deep, dude.
Okay.
Pretty deep. Alright.
Chapter 5 says, is the Shulamite dreaming, or is the author telling us she really went out into the streets and got beaten? I think she's dreaming still because she didn't want to get out of bed and probably didn't want to go out into the streets alone without her lover.
I think she was real life because back in the day, if you left the house without your husband or man, you were beaten by the higher power, which was the guards. So I agree with you. It was real. I think she was real.
I thought it was a dream because like the way the events progressed and like the text, it didn't like make sense because in the text they were like talking and like she looked down, like looked back up, and he was like gone. So like in reality, she would have probably heard him, like at least seen him leave. And also, if Solomon really considered her as a favorite, the townspeople and the guards would have beat her.
Yeah, I think she was dreaming too. Yeah.
Alright, cool. Let's move on. Chapter 6, over.
She's probably just in a really deep thought, and it felt really real to her, I guess.
Something.
Yeah.
It wouldn't feel too good.
You're about halfway through.
Chapter 6. What message did the author send through the Shulamite and Solomon not having the same concern about their situation? I think the message was sent that like couples can and will have differing opinions on things, but they can always overcome them if they relate to each other.
It's kind of like ancient relationships were the same as modern, where like simple miscommunication can lead to a fight for no reason.
It's not really true.
Pretty deep. I like love.
Anything to say about that?
I think it's just like how everybody takes the situation, like the reactions to it.
Chapter 7, what might it mean that the Shulamite and Solomon only speak to each other using figurative language? And I think that their love for each other can only, like, it might mean that their love for each other can only truly be expressed in, like, beautiful, poetic ways, or that they value each other so much that they, like, want to take the time to thoroughly express their feelings with figurative language.
I think they're still in the honeymoon phase, like still lovey-dovey before they start fighting and stuff. Always fine. That's it.
Well, isn't that just how people talk back then, though?
I thought that too.
Because it was like way, way back in the day.
Sort of. I think they take in the text it takes a bit further than how they actually talked.
Yeah, but
literally every line is like comparing something.
people didn't start
Something
talking
we
like
don't
we do now until
Yeah.
maybe 100 years ago.
Well, like in Shakespeare text, they talked kind of like that too, so maybe they did actually speak like that back then.
Is
I
that a
don't know,
win
I just
for
thought
me, or-
some they had their own language because they were like really like
Yeah.
but also it doesn't mean their own language.
Yeah.
Kind of like wanted to express it by using big words that nobody understood.
They put more thought into the compliments that they're
They
giving
thought
each
about
other.
what they said before they said anything back then.
Oh yeah.
Honestly.
Your teeth are like sheep.
And what's the significance of that?
They're white. They're all there.
My teeth never got called sheep. I would not be very happy about it, honestly. Wouldn't want to happen.
But they're so white.
Yeah.
My teeth are sheep.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Chapter 7.
Where did that one?
We just did
Chapter
that.
8. Place me like a seal over your heart. I think it means tell me that I'm yours and make it true. Like show that you like me.
She's basically saying don't cheat on me because he's a king and he has millions of other women, or lots of other women, so place me like a seal is like don't cheat on me with all your other women.
I think it's like don't break my heart. Like keep it protected.
I don't really know what it means, but
Maybe he's
I'm
like
gonna say
expected to cheat because he's a king and he's
Yeah.
supposed to have more than one wife.
Well,
So
he
if
already
she's
has
jealous
700.
about it, but she can't do anything about it. So
Well, she should do something about it.
Yeah, she's a woman.
she'd
She's
get
gonna
stoned
kill
or something.
700 people.
Well, like
there's not
that's
much you
her
can really
love,
do then. I mean, you got beaten for
Well,
everything.
yeah,
so.
but she's a woman, so she can't do anything.
She just
Just
gets
like
stoned
that's
or
her
get
love,
killed.
and then
She's
she-
basically just saying you're
It's
locked
so
in.
bad.
Have fun.
I think it means like something along the lines of always keep my love with you forever and don't let me go. Or don't forget it.
I agree with Tori. just don't break my heart, like you're mine and not yours, because we're married.
And I'm a jealous type. So.
She was a jealous
Yeah.
type. She
Deal with it.
hated it.
It talked about one paragraph about her jealousy, about how she was always jealous
Yeah.
of the other woman, but she could never do anything about it. This is expected.
Yeah, I mean, women can just sit
What would
back
you
and
do?
be like, oh, alright, that's cool. You do what you want, because, I don't know, just how it worked out, I guess.
Has everyone gotten to speak?
Alex.
Steven.
Steven?
Alex.
Yeah, Alex, get in the conversation.
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, let's go.
Saddle up.
Join in.
How do
with the
you
group.
feel about the situation, Alex?
Let's go.
I'm not much for gush. I don't like gushy.
It's not.
Well,
It's
how do you
a
feel
poem.
about it? Like,
It's like,
do you think that they were like really in love or anything like that, or do you think he was just
Is it
using
true
it?
love or was it material?
It's just infatuation.
what's that mean?
I
It's
don't.
just
I don't
really
understand
just-
big words. You're gonna have to dumb it down.
It's
a
not
bit.
love. It's like,
They're obsessed with the way they
it's
love.
like
I know what it means, I was
it's
saying.
like when middle schoolers date. They don't know what love is, but they're like, oh, I love you so much, I'm gonna marry you. But they're in middle school, they don't know anything. It's like this kind of. It's infatuation. You're in love with the idea of being in love, but you're not really in love.
There you go, that's, okay. I got it now.
Is that how you feel about it, Alex?
So they're not really, they're just joking about it? Like, the whole thing is just a joke.
Her of the Shulamite's charged 3 times to not arouse love. If it's just infatuation,
Don't have sex until you're ready.
Wow.
Thanks,
We
health
got
class.
real quick.
well,
Didn't expect that one.
Don't have sex, you'll die.
You only get one shot. You can't just die.
Stop it. You're done.
oh, Cody.
Hey.
It's true. You only have one virginity.
That is true.
All right. Can we talk about that?
Okay,
Okay,
yeah, we can
This
be
is better than the
done now.
conversations we've always had in this class earlier.
Okay.
I-
They'll charge you. Don't
You
arouse
are-
love before it's ready.
Whoops.
Are we done?
You're ready.
First round is done. So, how do you? Whoa! Wait a minute. Stop. How do you think? Not move yet.
Shoot.
How do you think it went?
Pretty slow.
Awkward.
Interesting for the first time.
Yeah, Ricky, we talk about it.
Yeah, I said awkward.
Just a minute. I
Oh,
can't hear.
awesome.
I
And
know.
Okay.
okay, Emily's got the stage down.
Seems as though it was our first discussion, I think it went okay. Like, not everybody talked, but most of the people did get in discussion and agree.
Okay. Good. What other comments do you have about just how it went?
Don't have sex until you're ready.
About the discussion, though.
Don't do it.
Oh, I think it went pretty well.
What were some good things that happened?
I know some bad things that happened.
Well, let's talk about what good things happened in the discussion.
They had good
Good.
support.
Majority of people talked. What was that?
They talked for 11
Good support.
minutes about
Talk for a whole 11 minutes. Yes, an entire 11 minutes about a subject like this. What other good things?
At first, there were a bunch of like silent gasps, and then near the end, we actually talked like in the actual discussion.
Good. Good. What else?
Some people talked a lot.
Okay, and some people really were able to express themselves. What are some? That's right. That's a good thing. What are some areas for improvement for our round 2 to consider? Yes, Will.
Some people didn't have very supportive arguments.
Okay, so what do they need to do? What do you in the outside circle now going inside need to do?
Would be back up what you're saying.
Back up with Nick. Nadia.
Like speaking more clearly and
And
being confident.
okay, listen up. Could you all of the outside? Could you always hear everyone speaking?
No.
No. And you know what? Our microphone isn't going to be able to pick that up either. So you really do have to. You can do it. You know from the inside circle that they survived. So the outside circle, you can be more confident and louder. Emily, you have some other things that we need to do?
everybody should be able to talk. Like, I felt.
Yes, everyone should.
We're just like all taking charge.
Now, those who aren't comfortable speaking in crowds, what can the rest of you do to encourage them?
Help them out.
One other thing that I
Yeah,
want you to
what's
be,
with that?
Give me a video.
One other thing that I want you to really be cognizant of is it is a respectful academic conversation, meaning everyone has the opportunity to speak and be heard. So the crosstalk made it difficult when lots of people were trying to talk at one time. Taking turns, and that's a skill that we have to have in life to get along. So taking turns, making sure that you're letting everyone have their opinion stated fully before you agree, disagree. How about discussion comments, connectors? Who are our connector trackers? Okay, did we have a lot of them or not very many? A good amount, okay. And I would like that to even increase. Connecting, I agree with Katie because, and what Alex and Kayla said was right because, you know, connecting those ideas and who it is that's stating them, and if you agree, if you disagree, and why. Okay? So, what I'm going to do, because I learned that I made a mistake when I did this. Before, I'd always done it, the trackers did it on their own document, and now I have a dynamic document where all of you were doing tracking, and then I suddenly realized, oh no, we're going to get more accounts than one. So, the connectors in here, the connector number 2, raise your hand. Okay, let's see. Tori, I'll have you be a connector, and you're going to be a commenter. The evidence, number 2s. Okay, Kim, you're going to be a commenter. You're going to track the evidence. And the discussion, no, number 2. Okay, you're going to be the discussion tracker, so you track who says what however many times, and you be a commentator. So everyone else is a commentator on the outside. So you jump on to the Today's Meet Connection commentator channel. Okay.
What's evidence supposed to do again?
You're writing who uses evidence, and you can tell exactly what evidence they use.
I don't know.
Evidence is things from the text. So I believe this because she said, you know, so they used an example. Yeah, you used evidence when you said that. Yeah, that's great. Okay, and inside, we had a couple computers because I didn't catch that you didn't have yours printed when I said if you don't have yours printed, print it now 3 times. So, no computers on the inside. Before we start, I drink a little water. Are you a commentator?
No, I'm in the discussion.
Oh, you're in the discussion.
So before we start, can I hurry?
I feel bad if you absolutely. You're sitting there. Okay. Okay, whose is this?
I know it's not mine because I was wearing the sandals.
Okay, as a review, commentators on the outside. Colby, you're inside. Commentators on the outside are paraphrasing. You're paraphrasing, and you can evaluate too. Darian made a solid comment about, and one thing I forgot to do, darn it. I should have had on your desks, see if I can find them.
Oh my.
I'm going to pass, I have 3 of them left, shoot. Words that you would be using instead of said. Asserts, claims, states, praises, insists, reasons, warns, tells, describes, declares, implies, urges, accuses, blames, compares, agrees, disagrees. Using those as you comment on the Today's Meet channel. But paraphrase what they're saying. And then, like I said, you can evaluate in a way that if you think made a great comment, made a great contribution, you can add that. Okay, you are. What were you supposed to do? What was your role? Commentator? Okay. What?
I know.
Okay, get in the outside circle. Yeah, so what are
Like, where do I do that?
Are you guys ready to?
I'm gonna try the one.
I hate it because you feel it too. Because I have to tell everyone else. I get no help plus
Feel great.
Obviously.
No, I'm babysitting. I think Aaliyah wanted me to go to the game with her, but I didn't want to go, so I told my cousin I babysit. Plus, then I'll have money for tomorrow. So they
Okay. All right, make sure everyone gets their chance to add comment, to discuss. Remember your connectors. I agree with so-and-so because I agree, but I also think that was a great statement because, Will, what do you think? Asking for participation, okay? And everyone getting their chance to be heard. Remember, speak up so that the outside circles can hear you. Manny and Ricky, find a seat in the outside circle. Right now. Okay.
Don't step on my book bag.
Probably would.
Ricky.
Nice to meet you. I'll show you.
All right, go ahead.
Chapters 1 and 2. Why did the author use figurative language for the entire dialogue? I thought that it was because they were taking the time to, like, it's like when you write a poem and you present it and it's like, oh, you took the time to do this for me. That's so sweet.
I said so it would make it interesting and make the poem longer. I agree with Tatum. I think it was excessive.
I thought it was to show romance and how difficult it is in the olden times, how to get a girl.
I don't think it's difficult, it's arranged, dude.
Not always, it can be.
I thought it just gave it a really more personal feeling when they're talking to you like that.
I thought it was easier to understand and knowledge that they were in love and respected each other.
Any other thoughts?
Chapter 3. Is the Shulamite dreaming, or did she really go out into the street to find her lover? I said she really went out to the streets, but I think that she was imagining things like getting beaten and things like that. I think her heart was getting beaten because she was... Oh! No, that's the same thing. It's just... Is that the same thing? Chapter 3 and chapter 5? Because
No.
she does it twice. I think she does. I think the first time she goes out.
Yeah.
Because then she dreams about it again the second time.
I thought that she was probably like laying in bed thinking about him and like daydreaming kind of, like, oh, I want to be with you, but I'm in bed.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
that's
yeah,
what I agree.
yeah,
I
I
agree.
agree.
Same.
I thought she was dreaming.
I thought she was dreaming because sometimes when you're just sitting there, you sometimes think of the worst possible case scenario.
I disagree.
You try to
I
let
think
your
she
dreams.
really went out to find him.
You try to make your dreams reality.
I think she was dreaming the first time, but the second time she got beaten.
Why do you think that?
Because she says it like later on.
I think it's flip-flopped. I think she dreams about it the second time because I don't think people would beat her. I think that's weird.
I think she's dreaming this time because the second time she literally goes into detail on how the guards like.
Yeah.
Dreams can be detailed. Anything else? Other comments? Or not?
Chapter 4. What is the significance of this figurative language and why is it almost entirely Solomon who speaks? I thought because they didn't really show the girls' thoughts and opinions. They did here and there, but not very much. Back in the olden days, it was just guys trying to get the girl, flirting.
Yeah.
It's just trying to show how beautiful she is. I said because she's listening to him talk and she loves hearing him talk, and that he mostly just compliments her the entire time.
I had kind of like what I think Katie had in the last discussion, that because she's a woman, she doesn't speak unless she's spoken to, and she's being praised by the king, so you're not gonna like.
Pretty happy about
Yeah.
So you're saying like women felt like lower class because
Yeah.
they couldn't, I agree.
And I thought, like, because he's a king, she might be, like, nervous to talk openly to him, because, like, if you look at, like, Esther in the Bible, then she's, like, all freaked out because she has to go talk to the king, and despite the fact that she's his wife, she still can't speak openly to him.
Any others?
Alright.
Chapter 5, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Is the Shulamite dreaming, or is the author telling us she really went out into the streets and got beaten?
Again, I think she was dreaming about being beaten.
Yeah, I think it was too.
I
I don't think
I
the guards
really
would actually
don't
beat
think
her.
that people would go out and just beat her.
Especially if she was one of Solomon's favorites.
Well, if she was a king's wife, I don't think someone would beat her because
Yeah.
he could punish them, obviously.
Yeah, I don't get why they beat her.
She's
For
thinking
no
of a
reason.
fantasy throughout this whole story.
I thought she was having, like, a really vivid dream, like, when you dream something and then looking back on it, you think it's a memory, but it was actually dreamed. So I thought that's probably what happened.
I think it was more of a nightmare because the first time, I think in chapter 3 she went out to find him and she couldn't, and then she dreamt about it, and then it just got worse because she was so paranoid, and then she was dreaming that she was getting beaten. What do you think, Will?
I said it was a dream.
Well, I also thought it was a dream because, like I said, a lot of the times, sometimes it just depends on the day when you're sitting there and like, let's say you send a text message. Sometimes you wonder, what if they take this the wrong way? I think she was pretty much doing the same thing, but just in a different time.
Any words?
I thought it was a dream.
I'm in. All right.
What about you, Connor?
That was true.
Any reasons why?
Your faces are getting all red. Speak up, son.
Yeah, I don't know. It just seems weird that they would just like beat her. I don't know.
All right.
Chapter 6?
Yeah.
Okay. What message did the author send through the Shulamite and Solomon not having the same concern about their situation? I said create tension through the story so that it makes the readers wonder what's going to happen next when they read on.
I said she misunderstood him when he left. I read that wrong.
I think they talk more poetically towards each other.
I think she misunderstood him when he left and thinking he was angry, but in reality he was not.
Yeah.
He was.
I think it's like the friends looking out from the outside, they're like, oh, are you having problems now? And you're like all worried about them, and they're like, no, we're fine.
I think they kind of put it into her head maybe a little bit that there's a problem when she doesn't think much of it at first.
Yeah, it kind of starts like a rumor, and it just kind of gets progressively worse as it goes on.
So you think the story is a fantasy versus reality, or do you compare it as Romeo and Juliet?
What?
Like,
They don't kill each other.
no, I'm not saying like killing each other, but like how Romeo and Juliet starts out, they flirt for a while,
Like
they
a lust.
skip out together, go see each other.
You just
throughout
mean like the
night.
relationship part,
Yeah.
not like
Yeah,
not
that's-
allowed.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Kind of. I think that they start out like any other couple, all flirty and stuff, and then it kind of gets mellowed out after a while. Is that everything? What about you, Bailey?
I agree with you.
Sweet.
Because.
Any reason to lie? Just kidding. All right.
Chapter
7.
What might it mean that the Shulamite and Solomon only speak to each other using figurative language?
each other and they want to express their love for each other without just saying they're hot and or sexy.
I agree with you. It shows like a deeper love, not just like surface.
I
More
think
personal feeling.
expressing each other better.
A nicer way to put it.
It's showing them that they mean more than, like, she may be hot, but he wants to tell her so she feels good about it.
And this is the chapter where they also consummate, so I don't know. They don't want to
Too abrupt about it.
Oops, my bad.
I feel like they're closer together and have more feelings for each other.
Anything else?
What about you, William?
Well, I'm gonna agree with you guys in this situation.
Do you have your own opinion? No. What about you, Connor?
I have my own opinion.
You don't talk to girls like that?
Shut up.
Okay.
Chapter 8. What is the significance of place me like a seal over your heart?
I put it means basically she's the only one he will love. She's asking him to promise her that. She's saying she wants him to only want her.
It's like a sealing bond throughout the relationship.
Never let each other go.
Like saying how she's basically telling him to never forget her.
I think she wants to be like the only wife that he wants to be with. And that's pretty much gonna change over time, probably. So she knows that.
So are you thinking like along the lines of divorce?
Well, no, he has some.
He has
Or
other
like he ends
She
up
wants-
having
she wants
1,000 women in his life. So
She wants him to be like she wants to be his favorite forever.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure every other wife was his favorite for a while. So I think she knows that, and I think she's telling him.
she's kind of saying like, don't let other things in that could ruin our relationship.
All right, good job, guys.
I didn't even get done.
Yeah, you didn't get done. Which means what? What is the difference here between first discussion and second discussion? Why would you not have gotten done?
Ours is more detailed.
Okay.
We know what's going on, yeah.
Right, and you had more time to think about what the first group said and form some more solid evidence. Okay, wait a minute. Thank you so much. You will see. I do want you to hand those in. We were supposed to take your quiz. We'll do that next week. It's going to be on Monday. Yes. Okay, you can take it when you get back. Okay. Thanks, guys. Put your discussion sheets right here, please, before you leave. Thanks. Why would you?